Imagine this. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts spin like a storm. You feel stuck, powerless. That's fear, anxiety, creeping in again. And in those moments, you don't need cliches. You need clarity. A philosophy that holds steady when nothing else does. The Stoics lived through war, exile, betrayal, and they thrived. Why? Because they didn't run from fear. They studied it. They rewired their minds to turn fear into focus and anxiety into action. In this video, you'll learn the ancient, battle-tested techniques that Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus used to master their minds. Not in theory, but in real brutal life. You'll walk away with clear tools to stop overthinking, reduce emotional chaos, and reclaim your inner peace, starting today. If fear has been winning lately, this is your wake-up call. If anxiety has been your silent companion, it's time to let it go. And if you're ready to become unshakable, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll see anxiety not as a curse, but as a powerful chance to become the calmest person in the room. Anxiety isn't new. The Stoics faced it too. When we think of ancient philosophers, we imagine calm, wise men in flowing robes, walking through marble halls, untouched by the chaos of life. But here's the truth. The Stoics weren't untouched by fear. They were forged by it. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, ruled during plagues, betrayals, and constant warfare. Every day, he faced decisions that meant life or death. His own children died. His people starved. He was surrounded by enemies, both within his empire and inside his own mind. And yet, he wrote in his private journal, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." That one line is Stoic gold, because Stoicism doesn't say, "Don't feel fear." It says, "Feel it, but don't be controlled by it. Look it in the eye, understand it, strip it of its power." Anxiety is not new, it's ancient, and if the Stoics had to fight it, then we're in good company. Seneca, another master of this mindset, suffered from chronic illness and exile. He once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How much of our fear isn't even about what's happening, but what might happen? We panic before the moment even arrives. The Stoics saw this clearly. They didn't try to manifest positivity or escape bad vibes. They did something far more powerful. They trained their minds to respond, not react. So here's the first Stoic secret. You are not weak because you feel anxiety. You are strong when you choose not to let it dictate your actions. You breathe through it. You pause, you reflect, and you move forward. Even if your hands are shaking, the battle isn't to eliminate fear. It's to keep your reason stronger than your emotion. That's Stoicism, and it's the first step in mastering your inner world. Control the controllable. The first Stoic shift. Let's imagine this. You wake up to bad news. Maybe it's an unexpected bill, a painful message, or just the crushing pressure of what lies ahead today. Your heart races. Your chest tightens. You feel trapped in your own mind. That's anxiety. It strikes without warning. Now here's what Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic master, would say in that very moment. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. This is the Stoics' first and most powerful shift. And it's not motivational fluff. It's a razor-sharp mental tool. When anxiety creeps in, the Stoic asks just one question, backhand index pointing right. Is this within my control? If it is, act. If it isn't, release it. Let's break it down. You can't control the traffic jam. You can't control your past. You can't control someone else's opinion, mood, or choices. But you can control your response. You can choose not to curse, not to spiral, not to let one external event hijack your inner peace. And that's where the Stoic path begins. Not in changing the world, but in mastering how you meet it. Anxiety feeds on what-ifs. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I lose everything? But Stoicism teaches you to focus only on what you can influence. Your effort, your thoughts, your decisions. Seneca said it best. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. The Stoic doesn't deny the pain, but they don't amplify it either. They shrink the problem down to its actual size. Here's how you can apply this in real life. Before reacting, pause and ask, what's in my control right now? Write it down. Make 2 columns, controllable versus uncontrollable. Then act only on what's in that first column. Let the rest go, not because it doesn't matter, but because it doesn't belong to you. This practice is like armor. The world may try to shake you, but you're rooted because you've drawn the line and chosen peace over panic. So the next time fear shows up, greet it with calm curiosity, not chaos. Say, you don't get to run the show. I do. Turn fear into fuel. The Stoic way. Fear. It's the oldest emotion. It kept our ancestors alive in the wild. But today, it often keeps us trapped in invisible cages. Afraid to speak up, afraid to fail, afraid to live fully. The Stoics didn't pretend they were fearless. No, they studied fear. They faced it, and then they weaponized it. Let's start with Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. He ruled an empire under constant threat, war, betrayal, plague. Any man would have been justified in falling apart. But he didn't. Instead, he wrote this to himself. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Think about that. Fear isn't the event. Fear is your estimation of it. So how did Stoics conquer fear? They practiced a method called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Sounds dark, but it's not. It's practical. Here's how it works. You imagine the worst-case scenario. Losing your job, being rejected, failing publicly. Then you ask, could I survive this? Not emotionally collapse, but actually survive. 99% of the time, the answer is yes. You could start over. You could rebuild. You'd still be breathing. And once you realize that, the fear loses its teeth. This Stoic technique isn't about becoming numb. It's about building resilience, preparing the mind, telling yourself, even if this happens, I remain. Seneca practiced this too. He would sleep on the floor some nights, wear rough clothes, eat only bread and water, on purpose. Not because he was poor, but to remind himself, is this what I feared? He trained himself to see discomfort not as an enemy, but as a teacher. He used fear to grow. So here's how you can do it. Write down your fear. Name it. Ask, what's the worst that can realistically happen? Ask again. Could I handle that? Then act anyway. Move forward with courage. Not because the fear is gone, but because it no longer controls you. You see, fear is not the enemy. Paralysis is. The Stoic doesn't wait to feel brave. They act despite the fear, because action is the cure. There's a quote by Viktor Frankl, a modern Stoic in spirit. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. And in that space, you choose to transform fear into clarity. Coming up next, we'll dive into a powerful Stoic practice that crushes anxiety at its root. Living in the present moment. No future catastrophes, no past regrets, just grounded, centered clarity. Let's get into it. How the Stoics mastered the present moment. Anxiety loves one thing more than anything else: the future. It feeds on what might happen, what could go wrong, what hasn't even occurred, but feels real anyway. The Stoics? They had a brutal response to this. Return to now, Epictetus once said. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. That's it. We don't suffer in the present. We suffer in our projections of the future. So how do the Stoics stay present? When life feels like it's falling apart, they practiced a mindset called living according to nature. Not the trees and rivers type of nature. Nature meaning reality. This moment. What is, right now? Marcus Aurelius wrote something beautiful during the chaos of war. Confine yourself to the present. He meant, stop time traveling. You can't control yesterday. You can't fix tomorrow. But this moment, this breath, this action, you own it. That's where Stoic power lives. Not in grand gestures, but in micro moments of clarity. Here's a simple technique inspired by them. The Stoic pause. 3 questions. What am I doing right now? Ground yourself. You're listening, watching, breathing. That's it. Is there a problem in this exact moment? Often no. Not in this second. Anxiety is a shadow of something not here yet. What can I do now, in this breath, that aligns with my values? That's where action begins. That's where fear ends. This practice of presence isn't some abstract philosophy. It's how soldiers, athletes, and leaders have kept their minds intact under pressure. Because when you anchor yourself in the now, the storm loses its power. Even Seneca, a man who lived through exile, false accusations, and political chaos, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." So next time anxiety grips you, remember, it's not real. It's a projection, a guess, a movie your mind is playing. Pause it, take a breath, look around, then ask, what can I do now? And then, just do that. That's how the Stoic moves forward. Not by predicting the future, but by conquering the present. In the next section, we'll uncover a tool that helps the Stoic prepare their mind for anything, even death. It's called memento mori, and once you understand it, fear won't stand a chance. Let's go deeper. The power of memento mori, mastering fear through death. It sounds terrifying at first, memento mori. Remember, you must die. But to the Stoics, it wasn't morbid. It was freeing. They believed that by embracing the reality of death, you actually unlock the power to fully live. Because here's the truth. Most of our fear comes from pretending we'll live forever. We act like we have unlimited time. To fix things, to chase dreams, to say the words we keep inside. But we don't. Marcus Aurelius meditated on death every day, not to feel depressed, but to sharpen his focus. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." It wasn't fear. It was clarity. When you hold death close, trivial things fall away. The opinions of others, the delays, the hesitation. You stop asking, what if I fail? You start asking, what if I never try? Fear melts under that question. Seneca was even more direct. He said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." So the Stoics reminded themselves of death not once, but constantly. Not to make life darker, but brighter. Because once you understand that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. So how do you use memento mori today? Here's a small but powerful practice. When you wake up, whisper to yourself, "I am alive for now." This day, it's a gift, a bonus round. Use it wisely. When you feel anxious, ask, will this matter on my deathbed? Most fears crumble under that light. And when you hesitate to say something real, to try something bold, remind yourself, you are dying, slowly, which means you have nothing to lose. You were never in control of time, but you are in control of how you live it. And when you stop fearing death, you stop fearing life. That's what memento mori teaches us. To stop wasting time waiting to feel ready. To stop running from fear. And to start living now, before time runs out. In the next section, we'll bring it all together. And I'll show you how to build an unshakable Stoic practice you can return to any time anxiety strikes. Because once you understand these tools, you don't just survive fear, you walk through it like a warrior. Let's finish strong. Now that you've walked through the Stoic path, from understanding your emotions to detaching from anxiety, to using memento mori as fuel, you're not the same person who clicked on this video. You've seen what the ancient Stoics knew all along. Fear only has power when you let it sit in the dark. Once you shine the light of reason, presence, and mortality on it, it shrinks, it fades, and you rise above it. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, these weren't perfect men. They faced fear, loss, war, and pain, just like us. But what made them unbreakable was their mindset. They didn't chase comfort. They trained for clarity. And now, so can you. Because the goal isn't to never feel fear. It's to become so grounded that even when fear knocks, you don't answer the door trembling. You open it with stillness, with strength, with Stoic eyes. And if this message stirred something in you, if you felt even a flicker of calm or courage in your chest, backhand index pointing right, don't let it fade. Feed it. Subscribe now and join this growing brotherhood of people who are choosing inner strength over noise. Shield comment below. What fear are you ready to face with a Stoic heart? Let's build this together. And remember, you are stronger than your anxiety. You are not your fear. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes them and chooses what comes next. Until next time, stand tall, live slow, breathe deep, and keep walking forward like a Stoic.